Morning and welcome to Manic Fishing. Well, it's a bit wild out here today, so we've come out to some ground where I normally pick up spurdogs this time of year. So we're going to have a try. It's a bit cold. We got the heater on today. It's the first trip out in this boat, so obviously it's a few teething problems and whatever else. We managed to get in and out the lock okay this morning, which is always nice. So I'm going to fish with my up-tide rod. And I've made all these traces up and they've all seemed to have tangled, so right, there you go. So what I'm going to use is it's like a Portland rig. So my weight goes on there, that clips on, and then I've got a 100-pound line and I've got a 8/0 Sakuma, like a long shank J hook and a muppet, and I'm going to go a flapper mackerel on this lovely new table that Neil made me from Hooked and Messy. So let's put this on here. So this clips on here, and then I'm going to use Malcolm's lead. It's only a 6-ounce lead, but it grips like anything, this one. And then I think we'll probably be watching our rods from inside the cabin because it's a bit nippy today. So let's put that there. Let's get the mackerel out. So we had to buy this because I didn't save any during the summer, which I should have done. So these are in packs. So let's just get a couple of packs out. So these are from Martin at the Angling Centre, quite nice size ones. So let's get my knife, or should I say Matt's knife. Come out, Skip. Now it's the first time using this bait tray, so it'll be interesting to see how I get on with it. Right, and all I'm going to do is literally cut it in half like that. I'm going to flapper that a bit, just cut it down the middle like that. And then literally just go up under its chin and through its head. Oops. Through its head like that, and that's my bait. And I'm not too worried about so I've got a little knife holder here, that's handy, so I'm not too worried about, you know, it flying around. I ain't got to clip it down. So let's get this first one up. I'm going to try and fish with 2 up-tide rods and down-tide. So let's see how I get on with this. Hopefully can cast it without buggering it up. And obviously let that line pay right out. As I said, these leads really grip. I'm letting loads of line out, letting the tide take it, not the wind. Right, so that's held there. I think I'll put this one on my rod holder here. Let's just put that there for now, and that'll tighten up in a minute. So it's got a nice big bow in it. There you go. And hopefully, as I said, there's no guarantees of these spurdogs being here, but you know, as history repeats itself, they should be, you know, hopefully. So I'm going to go down with a down-tide one, I think. So let's get one of these down. Let's get a bit organised. Try not to fall in. So I've got another Portland rig set up here somewhere, I think. So I'll do that one as well. I think I've got one here. Yeah. So I've got another Portland rig here. And I'll set this up. I think this is a 6 to 12, this rod. so this will be fine. And I've got a little clip on this, so I literally just clip this to the top swivel like so, and then I think I'll put a 12 lead on this, just so I'm holding bottom. Probably won't need that, but I'll put it on anyway. And I'll fish this one out the back. I'm using 100-pound line because spurdog have got some sharp teeth on them, and they will snap you off. And what I'll do is I'll put this tail on here. So I'm just going to take the tail off like that, and then what I'm going to do with this hook, this Sakuma, I'm going to hook this in the tail, and it goes through this it's like a bone part there, so that's not going anywhere. So I'll do that. I'll just open it up a little bit just to get them juices running, and we'll put this one out the back. So there's my rig there, and I'll fish this one out the back. So I've got my mate Danny out here today with me. Danny was the person who took Skip out first time ever when she was a puppy. So we'll leave that one there, and what I'll do is I've got a Railblazer mount here. I shall put in, clip that in there, make sure it's locked in, and we'll put this rod up in here. Let's make sure it's got a bit of slack, and make sure that's locked in. Right, so I've got 2 rods out, so fingers crossed we get something. Right, so I think I've got a little bite on that back rod. Let's get my gloves on, it's a bit cold. I'll say the conditions are not great today, but it's just nice to get out. As I said, well, Grant's been fitting this boat out, and it's just nice to get out and test it, you know. A few little teething problems. As I said, we've got a problem with the sounder at the minute. That's not picking up for some reason, so I'll have to check that. As I said, when I get it out in, so I've got a bite here. When I get it out in March, I'll put a through hole one in. Or whether that's just a dogfish messing about with it or not, I don't know. So I'm going to prepare a couple of baits while I'm waiting. A couple of these mackerel out. So cut the tail off, get rid of that. Just sort of cut it in half really. So you're getting 2 baits out of each one and just flappering them up. And as I said, if you use the tail of it, it's got a bone in the back of that tail, and it literally is not going to go anywhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check this back rod because it is kicking about a bit. So let's try it. I don't think it's a spur dog, but probably a dogfish. Or probably nothing, don't feel like anything, but let's bring it up and have a look what's going on. Yeah, so it's, look, by the look of it, it's being mullered by dogfish. So let's rebait that one up. Right, so I'm just going to go down again. So I've got this flapper on, pull this muppet down, chuck this one out the back, and then I'll check my up-tide rod. So I'm just literally letting that go down over the back. 12-ounce lead on it, it's holding fine with that. Probably don't even need that, to be honest, but let's put this one down here. Now we'll check this up-tide one. So what you do is you wind right down first to get that slack, and then you'll feel the lead tighten up. So that's all the slack now coming. There you go. So that's completely stripped that bait. So I've just cast and rebaited the up-tide rod, and I've given that a nice big bow, so hopefully that should hold. So I've cast up there, time the bow gums round, so I'm hoping my lead's sort of just up the front of the boat there, just keeps it away from the boat. So I've got a flapper on the front rod on a Portland rig, and the same on the up-tide rod. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of line just so that bounces. All right, fingers crossed, see if we can get some spurdogs or anything. So I'm getting a bite on this back rod now, it's banging away. Not quite sure, I don't think it's probably just dogfish messing about with it. A spurdog will definitely hit it, you know. As I said, you know, hopefully we'll find them today, but there's no guarantee. Last year I think I had them round about the 7th of December, but obviously the weather's been horrific, so I haven't been able to get out. As I said, Manic fishing will travel now, so once I get all my toilet fitted and obviously now I've got to put a through hole transducer in. Once I get all that done, then we can start to hit, you know, maybe Channel Islands, and definitely go up to Weymouth in the summer to try and get the turbot. Right, so let's just give that a little hit. So it was tapping, but there's nothing on there. I think it's just dogfish messing about with it. So let's have a look see what the state of the bait's like. See if I've still got any bait. And I may well alter this rig, because if it's getting tangled up, let's see. No, this bait's okay, but you can see this bait, it's being attacked. So let's put a tail on now. So these are great on this bait table. The you know, where it holds the rod, save it swinging all over the place. Right, I'm going to go on with the tail here. So through the back and then through that bone. I'll do it like that this time. So it's just getting my head around the boat, really. You know, obviously I've been used to fishing in Lady Margaret, and that was set up nicely the way I wanted it. So I'll just, first trip out, you'll know where you want to put your rod holders and everything else. So my Railblazer one needs to be tightened up, and perhaps a bit of tape round it. That was spinning round, but yeah, just generally I'll soon get the hang of it, you know. So I'm going to fish to the clock with the uptide rod. I'll give it another 10 minutes and then I'll bring it in, and I'll just keep sort of every 15-20 minutes I'll rebait that one up. So I've got my oven on in here, so I don't know how these batteries are set up, so I just don't want to you know, make sure it starts. I bought a jump pack with me, you know, just in case, but you know, it's just knowing that little oven I got, 12-volt oven, does kick some power out, so I just don't want to be battery down, you know. But it's got 3 batteries on here, so it's got, well, I'm hoping that it's rigged up, so one is the electrics, one is the starting battery, and I've got the bow thruster and anchor on another battery, but they all charge on the shore power, so it should be all right. We just started the engine then and it was fine, but I'll just let it tick over for a few minutes. So I'm fishing on the clock with this uptide rod, so I'm going to give this a wind in and see how we're going. So I've had that clutch loosened just in case it pulls my rod over. So I'm just tightening up to the lead. Yeah, so I'm bait stripped there, so it's best to do that, because just in case you you know, you're out there for God knows how long without catching anything. So I've got another flapper on here, so under the chin and out through the head, like that. We've got beam trawlers all around us. So once I've cast that in, I'll let that tip go down to the bottom, to the sea, so that the tide's taking the line, not the air. So this beam trawler's coming right towards us now. What's he doing? Right, got plenty of line out. Right, he's stopped now, so I don't know what he's doing. Just keep an eye on him. So I'm going to check my uptide rod. It was bending over a bit, but I'm roughly on my time limit. As I said, I'm fishing this to the clock, so let's give this a go. So I'm on that lead, pulled that lead up. It feels like something, but definitely not a spurdog. Probably nothing. I think it's just where I grip the lead out, but at least that lead's holding. I was just getting a bit, I've rebent it because it wasn't, it was down the bottom of the boat. So we're on the leader. Yeah, nothing. So the bait isn't actually that bad, so I'm probably just going to go back down with that. I'm going to change that lead over because I've got a new one off of John. So I'm going to put that on. That's just been freshly bent, and this clipper's bent over a bit here. That's it. Don't want that falling off. So I'm going to put a fresh bit on. I'm going to put this tail on. So hopefully if you go up through this tail part and go into that bone, that is solid there. Right, so I've got a new lead on and a tail. Let's try this. Come out, Skip. Dropping the tip down in the tide so that the wind don't take it, the tide does. Just let that clutch off a bit, so if it does pull, it's not going to pull my rod over. So let's check my down tide rod, make sure that there's nothing, I've still got bait on there. There's nothing worse than being down there and your bait's been robbed. So let's try this one, have a look. Oh well, it's one of them days today. It's only early, we've only been here an hour, but you know, it's worth a try. As I said last year, around the sea, yeah, see look, I've got no bait on that at all. I could have been out there for ages. Best to check it, you know. Last year, as I said, I had two beauties, as you saw, but hopefully we'll, you know, it's only early, get a few scent trails down. I think John Manx Bell is going to come out here with his little crew a little bit later, so there'll be a few more scent trails going down. Literally, I'm just dropping this over the back of the boat. Now my pie should be ready now, I'm hoping. So I'm just going to start the engine up in a minute just to make sure, you know, I've never used this boat before, so just make sure it starts. I have got a jump pack just in case. Right, let's have a look, see what the pie's doing. Yeah, it's great in the winter, you know, having a bit of hot food. So while we're messing about, Dan's got a couple of squid jigs on. He's gonna try just while we're, you know, you never know. As I said, it's just unfortunate that the sounder doesn't work, so I've got no idea what's down there, so we can't see any run of fish coming down. So it's just really disappointing that, but it's an in-hull transducer, and I've found a place at the back, but obviously if the fiberglass is too thick, it's not going to pick up, and it was showing like 4 foot of water, and I know we're in 60 foot here. So Dan's got a couple of squid jigs on here. He's just going to drop over the side and see if there's any squid down there, so it'd be a nice bit of fresh bait. So a nice hot pie or samosa in the oven. So not a lot of action at the minute, but it is what it is. Sea's flattening out a bit now, so fingers crossed, only early days. So I'm gonna check me up tide one. It's about 15 minutes now, so I'm just gonna prepare my bait first so that I'm ready. So let's chop it in half, and then literally I'm just going to open it up. So I've got a bit of a flapper on it like that. So once you come out of that nice warm cabin and come out here, it's quite cold. Yeah, look, so that's stripped. So you know, you really want to do it to the clock, because just in case, you know, no point being down there with nothing on. Send it straight back out. So the lead's all right, don't need bending back. See if I can get this up here a bit. So it's about 60 foot of water here, so you want to let out, you know, probably 1.5 times what you cast. I'm plenty there now. Let that touch off a bit. And I'll check my down tide one. Nothing on here. Not even getting dogfish today. I've only just cast that one over, and I'm getting quite a positive bite on that up tide one. That looked like that was going for it then. And generally with the up tide rod, it'll hook itself. Once it lifts the lead out, it'll hook itself, but I'll let it play out. Well, I've got something on here, but it's certainly not a spur dog. It probably is a dog. Oh my. Well, a bit of live bait. So we got a whiting. Well, what can I say? Little whiting, but at least it's not a blank. So I'm going to bait back up and just keep plugging on. Oh, so It's not quite what we wanted, but at least it's something. Yeah. At the minute, we'll take anything, even the lovely dogfish. So look at him, greedy bugger. He's taking the whole of that down. I can't stress enough how important it is to check your bait, because I've been down there probably 10-15 minutes with no bait on. So you've got to keep checking it. So I'm gonna keep going down with fresh ones all the time. Just in the praying I can get this spurdog. As I said, I think that I generally find they run sort of at the end of the, you know, sort of about the two hours before, you know, either high or low water. But you know, we're here anyway, we're giving it a go. That's all we can do. One dogfish, one whiting. It's not really catch of the month, but so I've got something on that back rod, I think. Let's put this one down and I'll have an hold of that, see what it's doing. Just might be one of them days today. Like I say, it was we're out really testing the boat out, first day strip fishing on it, so I can work out now exactly where I need to have stuff there. So I'm not happy with how I've laid it out at the minute. I just sort of laid it out in the marina, thought I'd have a rod holder here, here, here. This one's not too bad for that up tide rod, but I need to sort some other bits and pieces around, maybe have the bait tray over that side when I'm fishing this side. But I'll say there's two of us on the boat, so we'll just try. Well, that's not doing a lot now, so I'm just going to leave it. And maybe it start to pick up now. I said last year, I think it was the last sort of 2 hours of the ebb tide that it started to go. Well, I think Danny's into something here. As I say, we're just starting to swing round a little bit in the tide. It's about, well, it's up as 1 now. So we're 2 hours before low water. So we might start to pick something up now. So I've got a bit of a inquiry on my up tide rod. What's it feel like, Dan? Oh, dogfish. Well, at least it's something. At least you haven't blanked. But I'm just bringing the up tide rod in. We had a bit of an inquiry on it. It was banging about, but I don't think there's anything substantial on here. There's something on here. Not the target, I don't think. Oh no. So I've got a rock on me lead. Rockfish. What I'm going to do, I'm going to whip this on. I've left the hook quite proud in there. That's a nice bait, that. So it's a lovely dogfish. Greedy bugger. So we're really trying our best to put some fish on the deck, but it's just doesn't seem to be happening at the minute. I've got about it's what's the time now? 2 o'clock now nearly. So we've got about an hour and a bit maybe left. We're going to try and get the 3:30 lock in, because Manx Bell is going to get that one in, and I think Simon on Deep Blue is going to get the same. So it'd be a nice little test, me going in there when there's a few more boats in there, and if I make a fool of myself, at least I'm doing it in front of friends. But yeah, I mean, any consolation, Manx Bell's got, I think he's got 6 or 8 anglers on, and he's only had a few dogfish, same as us. And Simon's been out on Deep Blue and he's hit wrecks all day. He's got 8 anglers on, he's been lure fishing all day, and he's had 2 small pollocks. So, you know, it makes you feel better that they ain't catching, but it makes you feel better that we're all not catching. You know, that's the reality of fishing this time of year. If I was to be lure fishing this time of year, I'll be hitting out, you know. I don't think them big girls are going to be there until January, February, but I mean, you know, over the years I've had many 16-pounders on December time, you know. Yeah, maybe get a little bit more confidence, and if the sea's better, I mean, it's not too bad now, but this morning it was pretty choppy, you know. We were hitting sort of metre swells, and you know, in this boat it just eats the sea, but in Lady Margaret, if I'd have been in that this morning, we'd have been smashing ourselves to pieces. But yeah, I mean, it was nice to come out and test the boat out anyway. But fingers crossed, we've still got 3/4 of an hour. We'll see if we can put something over the deck. So We've got a wrap dogfish. Well, they're getting bigger. I mean, look at that greedy bugger. Taking the whole of that mackerel down. You're supposed to pay out twice as much as you cast out. Yeah, I've never really done uptiding before, but I've had a few tips on it, how to do it. It seems like you're putting so much line out, but that lead's there. Yeah. So we've literally got half hour left. I've got a little inquiry on there, but it's only a little rattle, so it's probably a dogfish, and I had a similar thing there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this uptide one in, I think, rebait up, so hopefully the next half hour. But the realities of fishing is not always a red letter day. As I said, if the conditions were different and my plan was different for wrecking, maybe if I'd have hit out away, maybe, but as you can see it now, it's lovely and flat, so we might be able to open this old boat up a little bit on the way in and get some of the barnacles off of it. So let's reel this one in and see what we got on it. So getting the slack up first till I hit that lead. That's it, then just pop the lead out, so don't feel like there's, I don't know, I think that's the lead just popping up. That's it, let's pop the lead up now. So the lead was where I am now. At least we know the lead grips. These ones are, Malcolm's a killer, and so unfortunately I lost. John gave me a brand new one and I lost it. So we've got nothing on this. So I mean, there's not really a lot wrong with that bait, but I've got another mackerel down there, so I'm going to put a fresh one on. There's not a lot wrong with that, but we'll chuck that. Let's put a fresh one on here, and then we'll have a look at that down tide rod. So yeah, I've lost me cox and roll knife Mark gave me, my braid scissors that Mark gave me, and I've lost Matt's knife that I've been hanging on to for God knows how long. So there you go. Let's just bend these wires back on this. See where that's been bending out? Bend them back up so they'll grip. Right, so let's cast this one out, and then we'll check the downtime rods, because that's banging about a bit. Right, let's set that down there, and now let's check this down tide rod, because it was banging about a bit, but I doubt there's anything on it. Doesn't feel like there's anything on it. We've got the scallop boat coming up and down us. So most of those dogfish that we were getting were spitting out like a queen cockle. I don't know if you can see on Skip's neck there, they vomited on him, and yeah, they're all spitting out queen cockle. So I reckon that's what they're feeding. I think that probably that scallop dredger is raking the floor up, and that's what they're feeding on. They're probably following that, you know, and grabbing all the goodies as he's throwing it up from the seabed. So we're going to call it. It's about 1:45, so time we get the anchor up and get that back to the lock. Hopefully we'll get the half-free lock in. Well, sorry it's not been a rip-roaring video, but at the end of the day, that's the realities of fishing. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks for Danny for coming out. It's good to fish with your mates and that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Oh, here we go. Dan's got the last one. Well done, Dan.
Really big monster.
There you go. Well, you go. Anyway, yeah, thanks very much for watching. At the end of the video, you'll see a prompt for another video. I'm sure that's going to be much better than this one, but thanks for joining us on our journey. As I said, we've got some big plans for this year, or for next year rather. We're going to do a bit of travelling about, be going down to Weymouth and Torquay and wherever, but thanks for watching Manic Fishing. See you on the next one.
Drag the net down from there.
Yeah, okay.